But that's why it's so strange, isn't it? How 2020 has been both the best and the worst year of my life. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the TotalSport YouTube channel, and today I've got something a little bit different and a little bit more personal for you guys. And today I'm just going to be going through my personal 2020 this year and how it's really been. I mean, it's been a difficult year for everyone, but for me, it's been a really weird one. Firstly, I'd just like to say that I am in a good place mentally, so don't worry, I'm okay. But please, if any of the issues in this video do affect you, don't hesitate to contact someone that you love or that someone is going to be there for you. And I've also got a new camera, so I'm looking nice and crisp in 4K. First off, what I'm going to be doing is just taking you through sort of time by time significant events this year, and sort of how I felt about them. To look at the start of 2020, I like to look at the end of 2019 and how I felt then. 2019 was quite a tough year for myself personally, in which I went through a breakup which pretty much affected me the whole year, to be honest. Something that I didn't think would affect me as much as it did. Angle check. But to be honest, 2020 was looking like the most positive year of my life. I was turning 18. I'm going to university. I've joined a new cricket club. Liverpool are looking like they're going to win the Premier League. It's all looking pretty dandy. We're going to start in January. So we may as well start at the beginning. It wasn't the most amazing start. A family friend of ours fell very much ill in the first few weeks of January. He didn't come to ours for Christmas, which is the first time he's not been to ours for Christmas since I've been alive, I think. And obviously this man is 80 odd years old. He's gonna feel this sort of thing at some time, but it was horrible. And eventually he would come and live with us. Also in January, A-levels were going well, and I started talking to a girl. I'm not going to mention who this girl is because of keeping identity safe, and I don't want to embarrass her. If she is watching, I highly doubt she is. But realistically, it was going okay. 2020 was looking like it was going to a positive start. The bushfires in Australia were a little bit horrible, but apart from that, all good. February was actually probably the best month of the year for me, especially personally anyway. So we started off the YouTube channel this month, 17th of February, I think we released our first video, which was, I believe, Welcome to Winning Mentality, as it was then. I also made it official with this girl, who I was absolutely in love with, completely my type, and yeah, it was going really, really well. Also, in February, I made one of the most memorable moments of the year, and that was when I went to Sky Sports News. That was unreal. We also have a video on the channel about that. Meeting David Garrido, John Paul Davis, and everyone there was just unbelievable. Now, it's always difficult when things happen in terms of people's health. I'm very used to death in my life, but this one was really, really weird. So, I think it was the 10th of March or something like that. The elderly relative, or the elderly friend, I call him a relative, he's a friend of the family, moved in, and yeah, he wasn't well, and he wasn't going to get better. Now, this is a really weird one for me because I've never experienced someone being like that before, in my sort of sentient adult life. I wasn't an adult at this point either, but, sort of like being more aware of the world in that respect. And yeah, he would come and live with us on the 10th of March, which is coincidentally just under a week before the COVID lockdown happened. Just at the start of March, I dropped PE. My A-levels were looking up. I'd also just been to a football game, Liverpool versus Bournemouth, and that is the last Liverpool game that I've been to. Moving on from that, I continued with the YouTube channel. Saving Saints started. We also hit 200 subscribers just right at the start of May. This sort of time was also pretty good. I started producing Ollie Leets' podcast, the Reader Rollerholic podcast, which is still going. It's doing brilliantly well. And I'd stopped doing audio content for Winning Mentality. This rolls along the time that it was my birthday. I celebrated adulthood in lockdown, which was very, very strange. But it was an unbelievable birthday. My mum and dad made it brilliant. We actually recorded a video with Kieran Carlin that day. Hopefully we can get him back on next year. And you know what? I had a really good time. Everyone was just really, really kind to me, and I really, really appreciate that. And it was one of the best days of my year, definitely. Just a few days after that, myself and my girlfriend at the time split. Now, obviously, this wasn't ideal. It wasn't ideal at all, to be honest with you. But yeah, I just like to apologise to this girl, because the way that I treated her was not good. I sectioned her off part of my day. I just wasn't good to her, and I genuinely hope that if she is watching, that you don't hold any grudge against me. It was just the way that I felt at the moment, and yeah, realistically, that's about it. So after this time, it was not looking up, but the channel was looking up. We started doing retrospective and doing interviews with people. It was really good fun, actually, and you know what? I never thought I'd have such fun just recording videos and editing videos and making photoshops, and this is the sort of stuff that lockdown brought for me. June brought more positivity. Football returned. Liverpool played Everton, and also great news for the channel is that Nazza, Jacob, Connor all became more involved. Unbelievable team of people. George also helped out with the Instagram. Thank you very much for that, mate. We also interviewed Laura Woods and Alfie Potts-Harmer during this time. I can also start to see more regularly my family and friends. Cricket is not far away either, my favourite sport to play, so I was really, really happy. Now, July, a wonderful month. Able to go to the pub, enjoy myself, play cricket every weekend, edit videos, just work hard. Liverpool also won the Premier League during this time, which was just amazing. One of the best days of my year, definitely. Got very, very steaming that night. In August, it was another good month at the start with, to be honest. But then it all went downhill. So the aforementioned family friend had started getting worse during July. He had a terminal illness, and unfortunately, he passed away in August. It was a relief because he was not well at all towards the end, but it was still disgusting to hear like what happened and what he was going through. I just want to say a massive thank you to NHS staff and Macmillan nurses who were unbelievable with him. The Black Lives Matter protests happened sort of before this time, but I will bring them up now. And I'm something that's very, very passionate towards for me, because I just think how anyone can dislike someone based on the colour of their skin is disgusting. How anyone can dislike someone because of their gender is vile. And if you do feel like that, please just change, man. Just change. Move with the times. August also brought more fun with cricket, which is cricket was one of my saviours this season, to be honest, and this year. And yeah, thank you very much to Aston and MCC, who are one unbelievable club. Now, September was the month that was meant to be the start. So I was going to university. September, I moved out of home, started university. It was started off brilliantly. To be honest, going into a studio flat by myself, I was a little bit concerned, like, how am I going to make friends? But luckily, one day, the day after I actually moved in, a girl called Izzy, she put in a group chat, does anyone want to go little? And I chose to go along. Now, that day I got to know Izzy and Alice and Herschel a couple of days later, and Emir after that. And I just want to say thank you so much to those lads who made my time at uni really, really special so far. But 12 days during my uni stint, it wasn't going great because I had to go home due to the lockdown. Obviously, that wasn't fun because I'd only just started the year, but eventually it would get better. Yeah, I would go back on October, and then it would all just start getting a little bit better, until I found out that my grandfather was very unwell and my grandmother was also very unwell. Now, it was extremely difficult for me, because obviously I couldn't go back. England was in lockdown, Wales wasn't. And then, unfortunately, just a week before my grand's funeral, I was told to self-isolate with COVID-19. I didn't have it, but someone I knew did, and someone I've been in contact with did, and I had to miss my grandmother's funeral. Now, that was the hardest thing. It wasn't as much her passing away, because she'd been unwell for a number of years, but it was more the fact that I couldn't pay my respects. So, after my grandmother's passing, it was a little bit difficult to sort of reevaluate what my values are. I was stuck in Cardiff. I loved it there. I loved the people that are there, but it was horrible not going there. And then, unfortunately, just a couple of weeks later, my grandfather passed away. Both on my dad's side, unfortunately. Luckily, I made it to my grandfather's funeral. I could see family there. You were able to have family there, so that was fine. And yeah, it was quite difficult. But in terms of work was still going well. We're over 1,000 subscribers now, and it's amazing. Ryan for us, the Cop, Prost International, going to football matches all the time at uni is unbelievable, and I'm so privileged. But that's why it's so strange, isn't it? How 2020 has been both the best and the worst year of my life. And I don't know how that middles itself out. I don't know whether it does middle itself out, whether I class it as 2 different years for 2 different reasons. Personally, it's been awful, but work-wise, it's been amazing. And I've picked up so many new skills, made so many new friends as well. It's so strange. So, what can I take from this year in general? I mean, I can take the fact that I'm learning, I'm growing as a person. I'd say that I'm not the finished article. I'll never be perfect at all. And I'll also say that I've got a lot of improvement to do. But I'd say that I've done all right, actually. And I'll pat myself on the back because I could have done a lot worse with my time than what I have done. So, people I want to thank for their contribution to my life this year. Everyone at the TotalSport team has been unbelievable. The TotalSport subscribers, thank you so much for helping me out this year. It's been a real pleasure trying to provide content for you, and I hope I can do it for many years to come. Some of my best friends from home, some of my friends from far, Izzy, Herschel, Ellis, Amir, Marcus, Eleanor, all of you guys made my life a lot better, so thank you. And also my family, distant and close, journalists who've given up their time, footballers who've given up their time, but most of all, there's 2 people I want to say thank you to. And I don't know whether they'll watch it or not, but and I hate doing soppy stuff like this, and they know that. But Mum, Dad, to go through what you've done in 2020 and still be the people you are today, and still be fighting for positivity, still be wonderful parents and rocks for myself and my brother, even when we're not here. You're unreal. And how you do it, I will never know. You'll never know how much we appreciate that. And I'm just so thankful that I've been lucky and privileged enough to be brought up in your household. I hold the values of both of you, and I really hope that I make you proud. Anyway, that's enough of that stuff. Thank you very much, and it'll be back to normal football videos and sport videos next time, but I thought I'd do this. And yeah, see you later.